Hello Magic fans, so welcome to another unboxing video. So this time we're opening our second Innistrad Crimson Vow Commander deck. So this one is Spirit Squadron. So same thing, I really like the pull tab. I think the packaging for these newer commander decks are actually much better. Less plastic and all that. We do have our printed large version of the commander, our punch out tokens and punch out divider as usual. We do have our deck box. It will happily contain your deck single sleeve but not double sleeve. Our helpful filler, our spin down, our life counter again. A mini poster talking about Millicent and how the deck plays, or what you want to do with your deck. There you go. So Azorius colors for this deck. So Millicent, the Restless Revenant, is a 5 white blue for a 4/4 legendary spirit soldier. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each spirit you control. It has flying, and whenever Millicent, Restless Revenant, or another non-token spirit you control dies or deals combat damage to a player, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So let's open the first deck that has Millicent. So there you go, it's a foil copy of Millicent. One of the new legendary cards is Donal, Herald of Wings. It's 2 blue for a 3/3 legendary human wizard. So whenever you cast a non-legendary creature spell with flying, you may copy it, except the copy is a 1/1 spirit in addition to its other types. You can only do this once each turn. Okay, and then so we have some support cards. Darksteel Mutation, of course, is always a good way to get rid of your opponent's commander. It's an enchant creature, so it doesn't put the commander back into the command zone like an exile or destroy spell. So it's a good way to nerf your opponent's commander. So I really like the spell. Field of Souls is, again, it's an enchantment, so whenever a non-token creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you create a 1/1 spirit, so it goes well with your Millicent. Ghostly Prison is a way for you to prevent people from attacking you, so they can't attack unless their controller pays 2 colorless for each creature they control that's attacking you. So Swords to Plowshares, Arcane Denial. I kind of like this actually. So some people don't like Arcane Denial as a counter spell, but I think for commander it's pretty good. It does sort of replace the card after you use it, so you get to draw at the beginning of the next end step. Of course, your opponent gets to draw 2, but I think that doesn't really matter as much for commander. Distant Melody lets you draw a card for each permanent you control of that type, and since you're trying to create a lot of spirits, so I think it's a pretty good card for this deck. And then, of course, we have some additional spirits since we are playing a spirit deck. So we have a way to buff our spirits by giving them +1/+1 in Hexproof and Roxball Captain. So for our artifact ramp package, Arcane Signet, Azorius Locket, Azorius Signet, Command Sphere, okay, Marble and Sky Diamond Sol Ring. And then for our non-basic lands support for the deck, Azorius Chancery, Command Tower, Mirrored Landscape, Path of Ancestry, Temple of the False God, Unclaimed Territory. So here are the basics. We should have a bunch of other non-basics in this other pack. Hold on. Can't seem to find the pull tab. So we have our double-sided tokens first. Spirits, of course, Angel, spirits, copy, clue, Thopters. So additionally, exotic orchard, we get moorland haunt. So you get to exile a card from your graveyard and create a white spirit creature with flying. Port Town, Prairie Stream, Skycloud Expanse, and Temple of Enlightenment. So we have our partner commanders for this deck, and the first one is Rhoda, Geist Avenger. It partners with Timon. It's 3 and a white for a 3/3 legendary human soldier. It has vigilance, and whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, put a +1/+1 counter on Rhoda, Geist Avenger. And then of course we have Timon, Youthful Geist. It's 4 and a blue for a 3/4 legendary spirit. So it does partner with Rhoda. It has flying, and at the beginning of each combat, you tap up to 1 target creature. So you tap that guy and put a +1/+1 counter on Rhoda. So that's sort of how they work. Roxball Reinforcements, Haunted Library. So this one, it's an enchantment that whenever one of your opponent's creatures dies, you pay 1, and then when you do that, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So there is a bunch of support for creating more spirits so far in the deck. Priest of Blessed Graph, Storm of Souls, again, creates 1/1 spirits. Sudden Salvation, Breath of the Sleepless, Ethereal Investigator, Haunting Imitation, Occult Epiphany, again, creating spirits, drawing cards. But this one, draw and discard. So it's more like looting compared to actual card draw. Spectral Arcanist, Disorder of the Court, Angel of the Flight, Alabaster. Benevolent Offering, again, creating spirits. Boreas Charger, Bygone Bishop, Custody, Soulbinders. So this one, it enters with X+1, where +1/+1 counters, where X is the number of other creatures on the battlefield, and then if you remove a +1/+1 counter by paying 2 and a white, you create a spirit. So Fell the Mighty. So this is one of the one of the removal spells that I like, since you're creating a lot of 1/1s, and depending on what kind of creatures your opponents have, you can destroy all creatures with power greater than the number and the target creature's power. So if you don't have any of your creatures buffed up, you can destroy all the creatures to power or greater, because you mainly have 1/1 spirits based on the synergies in this deck. Karmic Guide, Kirtar's Wrath, Knight of the White Orchid. So this is a way for you to find lands. So Mentor of Unique is 2nd edition because you're typically going to have 1/1s. So whenever another creature with power or 2 less enters the battlefield, so that's your spirits, you may pay 1, and then if you do, you draw a card. Promise of Bunray, Remorseful Cleric, Twilight Drover, Windborn Muse, Flood of Tears, Ghostly Pilferer, Imprisoned in the Moon, Kami of the Crescent Moon, so Midnight Clock, Rattle Chains, Shekelgeist, Supreme Phantom, so it's one of your lords. So you kind of want to be careful if you're planning on, using Fell the Mighty or something like that. Make sure that maybe Supreme Phantom isn't on the board, because otherwise it's going to be difficult for you to clear the board. Of course, Verity Circle is a good enchantment, so it's for 2 and a white. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, you may draw a card. So you can pay 4 and blue to tap target creature without flying. We have a Dovin Grand Arbiter as a planeswalker for the deck, and of course we have Geist of Saint Traft. So that's the deck. Please let me know in the comments below if you've had any experience playing this card. With this deck, I haven't yet, and I plan to play with it the next time I'm able to go to my local game store for some games of Commander. It seems like a fun deck. I've seen it being played in some other videos, and seems like the themes are very interesting for the Vow and the Midnight Hunt commanders. So I'm pretty happy with them so far. So let me know what you guys think. And you know, if you have any comments and kind of other videos you want us to do in the future, please leave a comment in the description, in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Bye.